My latest short film, The Elevator, was filmed entirely on a GoPro, with no budget, no crew, and no actors. So in this video, I'll take you behind the scenes and show you the entire process, from writing and filming to practical effects and all the editing involved in order to make it work. So to start off, I got the idea for this one when I moved to a new apartment building and noticed that one of the elevators in there looks a little bit creepy. So immediately, my first thought was that it would actually make for a pretty good horror film location. But I wanted to keep it simple, so from the very beginning when I was thinking of ideas, I always knew that the entire story would take place in there. And that is a big part of the reason why I decided to film it on a GoPro. Since I had no crew or actors, I had to be both the person in front of the camera and the one behind it. So mounting the GoPro in there and not worrying about it was pretty much the best way I could do that. But more importantly, it allowed me to get a realistic found footage look. The camera angle made it look like a normal security camera footage in a normal elevator, almost like any random video you can find around the internet. And in order to make sure the GoPro recorded for as long as I needed to, I took out the battery to prevent it from overheating and instead plugged it into a power bank. And that was necessary because I really did spend a long time in the elevator, and by the end of it, I almost felt like I was actually stuck in there. So in those shots in there, I'm not even acting, I'm just as miserable as I look. You might also notice that I gradually become sweatier and sweatier over time, and to achieve that effect, I just used a little bit of sunscreen spray in between takes. And it actually worked out pretty well. In order to make sure I could film for a long time without being interrupted, I had to wait until 3 in the morning and then start filming. Luckily, nobody walked in, and I'm very grateful because that would have been a bit awkward to explain. But as with every film production, no matter how big or small, there will always be something going wrong, and this one is no exception. What happened was that when I was filming, I overlooked the fact that every single time the phone was on camera, you could clearly see the time and that it's connected to the internet. And that was a problem because the character was supposed to not have any signal at all. So I had no choice but to painstakingly remove it from every single frame in the Final Cut, or 331 frames in total. It took me 2 hours. I also needed some props for this one, so the gun that you see at the end is actually an airsoft gun, which is technically a toy, but it was modeled after a real US Army gun, so it looked real enough. And the bullet is an actual movie prop bullet. Some people were curious about how I got the lights to turn off, and the truth is that I just got lucky. It just so happens that the lights in this specific elevator turn off automatically after a minute or so. But the interesting part is that initially I didn't want to film in there because of that. I just thought that it would be annoying and create a bunch of extra complications. But at the end, it actually helped me sell the effect. So just a little reminder to always keep an open mind. When it comes to editing, I was freeze framing the footage on purpose, to give it a bit more authentic and creepy look, but that was also very useful when I needed to hide some of the cuts. Also, almost everything that you hear is sound effects. The door closing, the elevator moving, the buttons, and especially the banging of the door. The voice of the woman is actually a text-to-speech software that I found online. You just type your text and then get an audio file out of it. And I just love how calm and creepy she sounds.
We have been closely monitoring your situation and doing our best to get you out of there.
And when it comes to what she's saying, I really wanted everything to have a double meaning. So when you see it for the first time, it actually sounds hopeful. But once you know the ending, everything she says is actually terrifying. And the same goes for the poster on the wall as well. As per usual, I created all the elements on screen from scratch, and some of you might notice that the taskbar is the same as the one in my previous short film 2088, which I guess means that I technically have my own little cinematic universe? But all jokes aside, I think it's a really cool idea for all the short films to be connected to each other, so make sure to pay attention to all the little details. And there you have it! This is how I made my short film The Elevator. Ever since I've posted it, the feedback has been absolutely amazing. But now that I think about it, I should probably stop putting all the nice comments at the end of those, because when inevitably the day that I make a terrible short film comes, I will have to own up to it and post the bad comments as well. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.